returns to the Esplanade Mall courtyard. Spice up the Esplanade. Every Wednesday and Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Spice up the Esplanade. Your all-in-one Spice Mass event. Get a taste of everything Carnival. From music to mass to food to fashion. All things Carnival in one place. Esplanade Mall, July 7th to August 11th. Don't you miss it.
When you have mental health disorders, it does not discriminate. It knows not race, class, nothing, gender, it knows nothing. Whoever you are, you can be affected by mental health issues, because whoever you are, you can be affected by stress, and it can start from there. If we think that it is not going to happen to us, that's not true.
Join us on Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
King of the Grill 2023 is made possible by Quartz, Grenada Limited, Rubis, the National Lotteries Authority, Coca-Cola, Coyaba Beach Resorts, and Duty Free Caribbean Holding.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course? Well, I've got just that. Hi, my name is Gary, Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio.
So we say a hearty good morning to our listeners, those of you via K105.5, K105.9. Good morning. Welcome to the Mid-Morning Buzz. Say good morning also to our viewers via GBN TV, whether you're on Channel 7, Channel 11, or Channel 20. Good morning. Our social media audience, good morning to you. Also our YouTube channel viewers, good morning. And listeners around the world, good morning. And welcome to the Mid-Morning Buzz. I have double dose of guests. I'll speak to the one that's closest to me first. So let me say good morning to Ms. Julien Gutu. Good morning to you this morning. And she's this morning from the National Trading Agency. Let me say good morning to you and welcome to the Mid-Morning Buzz.
Thank you. Good morning, GT. It's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to be always to be on GBN. GBN was my first home.
Yes,
many people would not
I
know
can remember that a couple of years ago.
Yes,
yeah.
Many people would not know, but I worked here. This was one of my first real jobs when I got out of school. So I worked here a few years ago.
welcome to the Big Morning Buzz. We do have another guest. He's via Zoom. Let me let him introduce himself. Good morning to you, sir.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing?
I'm fine for the time being.
All right. I think I missed your name, so I'll let you give me a formal introduction of your name and a reason for you being here this morning.
All right. I am Desron Frederick, a teacher attached to Westerhall Secondary School.
All right. Welcome, Desmond. So let's kick off the conversation this morning with KB in the studio. First, it's all about, what do I say? It's World Youth Skills Day. All right. Tell us about that. Tell us about that a little bit.
So before I get into the World Youth Skills Day, we were supposed to have another guest this morning, Miss Ursula Patrick. Tutor at the New Life organization in fashion design, but I think she has a bit of a family emergency, so I'm not sure if she's going to join us or not, but I think maybe not, because she she had to take one of her kid to the doctor, so so I'll apologize.
Well, it's a valid excuse anyway.
Yes, because it would have been nice to have Newlo's input on today's interview. Yes, so let me begin by sort of explaining to the public what World Youth Skills Day is. So World Youth Skills Day is actually an observance of the United Nations, and it falls under the UNESCO body. This observance began in 2014. Not quite sure at the time what was happening in 2014 that would have encouraged the United body to start this observance. But one thing that I know for sure is that the day marks or stresses the importance of providing. So around this time, you'll have a lot of focus on providing proper training for youth and creating skills for them so that they can find employment and entrepreneurship. The statistics, so there are world statistics, and even Grenada statistics always show that youth unemployment is high. And youth unemployment is high because, for obvious reasons, they have just finishing school or coming out of school, so they don't really have any job experience. And in most cases, they have no skills that can be of any use in the job market.
A vast majority of them just have the theoretical part of things.
Yes, they're just coming out of school with their CSEC subjects, as in the case of Grenada, and in some other parts of the world, other academic qualifications. But they have no skills training that would be of importance in the working world. So I guess that is part of why the observance came about, that youth unemployment, and most people don't really give much, they don't look upon youth with that importance. Oh, what can you do? What can you add to my business? That kind of thing. You're fresh, you're new, they prefer to hire people who are more experienced, who can, right. So the part of this is preparing them so that at least when they are starting in the job market new, they can start with something. They're not just, you can show some qualifications. Oh, I have been to school, or I've been to some training. I've done some training in whether it's plumbing, I've done some hairdressing, I've done some fashion design. So they're not getting into the job market just with a clean slate. So that's part of the focus, so that they can find employment. I mean, if you have a little bit of skills, you can get an entry-level position and start to work your way up there, getting better at that skill.
And so that's where your agency comes in.
Yes. So part of our work is to ensure that our focus is on technical vocational education and training in Grenada. So we oversee all of that in Grenada, and we certify persons who have been trained in any area of technical vocational education and training with a Caribbean vocational qualification. This is a CARICOM qualification. In the cases where we call it a CVQ for short, in the case where there's not a CVQ in existence and countries have developed what we call national vocational qualifications, that means there's some area of occupation in the country that people are engaged in, but there is no certification in existence anywhere for it.
Okay.
We would create the we would create the standard that would be allow persons to be trained in that area, and then certify them nationally. And then that national certification, we can send it up to our regional body, our regional umbrella body, Cantor, so that CARICOM can make it into a regional qualification.
So I'm just trying to get a little bit of a clarification on this. When you of course certify someone in Grenada, in terms of, and you say now, because they get that certification here, they could be used regionally, or they have to be the other regional bodies have to accept it?
So our certification is a CARICOM certification.
Okay.
So CARICOM is a regional body, so it's a regional certification. It's approved certifications that have been approved, qualifications that have been approved by CARICOM for use throughout the region. So let's say we have plumbing or air conditioning and refrigeration at a level 2 or level 3. That would be a certification that's approved throughout. So if you go to Trinidad or you go to Barbados, they would be using that same standard for training. So at the end of the day, that in an institution in Barbados, the person is learning basically the same thing that you are learning in Grenada or in Trinidad. Right. So it allows for seamless movement throughout the region to find jobs. So it means that if I am leaving Grenada, I'm not going to Trinidad with substandard qualifications, so I'm messing up somebody's project over there or something. We're all practically on the same level for that level of qualification. So that is that is a good benefit of having a regional. It allows persons to move. So it's one of the qualifications that's used to access the CSME certificate, which is the CARICOM free movement of artisans and persons with skills throughout the region to get work.
All right.
So that you can use that CVQ certificate to get a CSME certificate.
Something I didn't clarify from you. This World Youth Skills Day. When is that day actually?
Oh, World Youth Skills Day, the observance is always July 15 every year.
July 15.
Yes, so it's this Saturday.
Okay, great. Now tell me, I'm assuming World Skills Day comes around. What are some of the activities that will be taking place that, maybe folks who may be interested in coming over and be part of it could, of course, get themselves into in terms of the activities?
So in terms of our local activities, well, this being on the radio is part of us lending some kind of visibility to the day and lending some support and showing persons that we should focus on our youth. But the theme this year is skilling teachers, trainers, and youth for a transformative future. So in the past, we've always focused on youth and what they are doing. So we've had interviews where we've looked at youth in robotics and areas that are not non-traditional areas, or areas that females are doing that typically would be done by males. So we're focused on things like that in the past. But this year we want to focus on the teachers themselves, the trainers and the instructors. And that is why Desron is here. And that is why Miss Patrick, who is a tutor at NULO, was going to be here as well. Because they actually do the instruction in the areas. And we are looking at, if the focus on the teachers and trainers this year is because without TVET instructors and teachers who are skilled, how can they pass on what they don't know?
If you don't know something, you can't train someone in it.
Exactly. And how can you train youth, our young people, for that future that's coming there, the transformative one that we're talking about?
If you're not knowledgeable about it now.
Exactly. But what is that? What are we training them for? Because it means that we have to include all the technology. So our teachers themselves have to be skilled in certain things so that they can pass it on to our youth for that future that is out there that is completely right now based on technology and so on. So that is why we want to focus this year on making sure that our TVET instructors are also skilled and that they know what they are involved in the whole process of making sure that our youth and the future of the country is on a path that is transformative.
All right, interesting. I think we could probably chip in Desmond here right now and have a chit chat with him. Desmond, good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, tell me, he actually use a trainer or instructor. How can I describe you?
Actually, I'm a trainer and an instructor and an assessor also.
All right. So tell me, why did you choose a career as a TVET educator, instructor, trainer, if I could put it like that?
I've always had a passion for TVET and technical education and technical, anything technical from a very young age. My father is a builder. All of my brothers, they are in the construction field. So I always felt inclined to be a part of the technical field. And I said to myself, why not take it to another level? Why settle only for the skill? Why not train persons in the skill that I've acquired from since a young boy growing up? So I love technical education. I think it's in my blood, and I have a great passion for it from a young age growing up.
Tell me, how difficult was it for you to actually go on out and start training individuals? How was it a difficult task, Ed?
Well, not really. It wasn't really a difficult task per se. One of the things is getting our students to acquire the skills, and they must have the attitude and to acquire those skills. So that's the most difficult part of it, is getting the students to love the area. And what I'm seeing in some cases, some persons love the area, and some persons just do it because they don't have a choice. And that's one of the challenge for me here.
All right, and getting to teach young people how difficult was that for you, or was it that difficult, especially young people? You know, sometimes the folks would say, teachers would say, young people, it's hard to get things across to them, especially. You know, I understand. In terms of maybe the technical subject and so forth, you mean that youngsters may have that deep interest as it is today in this modern world. How was it easy? How was it to get that information in terms of getting them to understand what you want them to go ahead with you?
Well, with the CBET methodology that we use and we employ in CVQ, teaching and learning process, we use practical skills, we use knowledge, and we use the students' engagement as they go about their day-to-day learning within the environment. So it's not that hard per se, because we could utilize the practicals for students who are not so technical, not into the theoretical part of it, but still these are the three facets that we use, and I think the candidates, they are gravitating towards that particular methodology there. So it's not that hard, because I love working with young people, and I think they love working with me too.
Tell me, how do you ensure that your teaching style meets the diverse needs of your students?
Well, one of the things that we follow is the CBET methodology, as I mentioned a while ago. That methodology it deals directly with industry experience, likewise. So we look at the market, and we see, for example, if I'm teaching general construction, we would train students to meet the particular industry that they're going into and wider. So we don't only use the chalk and talk or just the simulation, but we'll also put them out into the industry outside so that they can be able to learn. And we will interview, we'll have consultations with persons on the outside, construction firms, and other persons, to see what is the direct needs, what are some of the areas that they're looking at, and what are some of the problems. And one of the problems that they had before was that of persons being employable. But with the CBET and TVET methodology, we are seeing that candidates are able to go out there and become employable even during the training process, because they not only focus on the theoretical aspect, but they focus on the knowledge also, the skills, and likewise the attitudinal behaviors on the job market outside there.
What do you love most about your job, and in terms of what you do? I see you smiling already, so there'll be something about it that seems to motivate you, that want to come out to work every morning because you just love what you do, whatever you do.
One of my greatest motivators is that of the students gaining their competencies at the end and the practical work. And also when I see candidates whom I would have trained, they go to the training, and during the training process, employers will just keep them there on the job site, and that is a great joy.
All right. There's another question I want to ask you about. You know, in terms of some of the challenges you face. You know, how do you cope with these challenges?
Well, CVQ and TVET is a very expensive area, so it's that of resources. There's never enough resources when it comes to technical and TVET and CVQ, because we always have to be doing practicals, and most of the teaching, we have to be doing practicals with them. And the other issue is that of time. There's never enough time for us to complete most of what we need to complete for students and candidates.
Okay, great. Now, there's a question that seems to grab me a bit, because I'm an individual who love things of a technological nature always, How do you use technology currently in delivering, your TVET program? Especially, we're using a level of technology here right now in terms of communicating with you. You understand? Mm-hmm. You at your workplace right now. I'm at my workplace. We're not seeing each other in a physical nature, but technology is working seamlessly. How is it for you?
It has been one of those tools that has really bring out CBET and TVET in an extraordinary way. Whereby we can use the online platforms such as we use Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom, as we're using now. There's a Teams platforms. I utilize also the Facebook, WhatsApp. And I use those tools to send notes for students, send videos. We also conduct assessments through those platforms likewise. And it's an excellent medium, and these tools help to really speed up the process and help us to gain the interest of the candidates likewise.
Now, let me also ask you.
Portfolios.
All right, let me ask you, what if any of the training available to you to advance your skills, your teaching competencies, etc.? Tell me about that.
So with TVET and CVQ, there's always room for improvement, and there's always another level. So for example, we have from level 1 to 5, and now they have improved it to level 8. So there's always, where as trainers, for example, I'm a level 4 assessor, but I'm continuously seeking to do other levels, and then we have workshops and training where we have consultations to see what is working, best practices in the training and delivery process. So we always have those workshops with the NTA, with the Ministry of Education. We did one just Monday gone where we revised our SBA strategies and our CVQ modus operandi and so on. So there's always workshops and training where we seek to improve the teaching and learning process and to see what best practices we can employ in the teaching and learning environment.
Now, we know the world is ever evolving when it comes to technology and so forth. What do you see the future of technical and vocational education in Ghana? Where do you see it going?
I think the government has the right approach, or right perspective rather, in giving TVET some sort of a priority for this year and beyond, whereby they seek to want to reintroduce it back into the primary school. And I think this is a step in the right direction, where we seek to gain the students' interest from a very young age, so that when they reach secondary school and other higher learning institution, they will be coming with some sort of a baseline information or knowledge and skills, or prerequisite skills rather, so that when they get to those areas, they can have a greater love and passion for it, just like how I did when I was younger. So I think the government has a right perspective. I also see TVET being in every secondary education school system in Grenada, and I think it's one of the greatest equalizer of bringing persons out of poverty and for making persons become, or creating employment and entrepreneurship for individuals who are not employed with a particular company or establishment.
Let me ask you this. As being an educator, trainer yourself, how does it make you feel when you see whoever the students that you may have thought, after that final training and everything come out, and you probably see them in the work field? How does it make you feel?
It gives me great joy.
All right, nice to hear that, man. Thanks, Desron, and certainly I hope I'll come back to you shortly. I want to continue my conversation with of course, Ms. Kate, Julien, Gutu this morning. Let's talk a wee bit about some of the activities that are taking place, marking of course, the observation that is coming. I'm assuming there's lots of activities still. You talk about, you made a key conversation a while ago. You talk about engaging the teachers, per se. Yes. What else will be taking place?
All right, so like I said, we want to get this out there into the public domain, and there are a number of activities happening regionally and internationally that persons can participate in. So like here on the local scene now, I am doing some interviews, so I will be on GIS with some more instructors tomorrow. We will have one from Her Majesty's prisons because, yes, that is a key area, a key institution for rehabilitation, for teaching technical skills that could improve and change the lives of youth. And we will also be having someone from a clerical field as well. So those are instructors who will be on that interview with me tomorrow. Also tomorrow, there is a regional webinar. 4 countries will be participating in this regional webinar. So we have what are called UNIVOC centers, which are like TVET centers under UNESCO. And we have several centers in the Caribbean. And Grenada has several centers here. The National Training Agency and TAMCC are both UNIVOC centers.
Okay.
So we have collaborated with other regional UNIVOC centers to put on this webinar. The webinar will be titled The Trainer's Role in Transforming Our Caribbean Youth. And the panelists, so this will take place at 10 to 11 tomorrow. It will be on YouTube and also on Facebook.
All right.
So persons can tune in, look for that TVET webinar, The Trainer's Role in Transforming Our Caribbean Youth, from 10 to 11. And our Grenada participant is a young lady called Bevan Shadell Charles. She's an entrepreneur.
Right.
She's a young person. She's a mover and a shaker in her area. She's the owner of a farm called Akata Farms. I don't know if you've heard of Akata.
I don't think I've ever heard of it, but it's interesting.
Yes, and she was a recent participant earlier this year in a train the trainers workshop for young people so that she can provide some of that leadership to other young people. She has been part of several other things. So she will be the panelist representing Grenada. And from Jamaica, we will have a TVET expert, Miss Marcine Taylor Brown. She's the principal director at Heart Trust Jamaica. So Heart Trust is like the sister organization to our NTA. Then from Barbados, on the panel, we'll have a gentleman called Mr. Dario Walcott. He is technical officer and lead officer for the World Skills Barbados competition, and he's a member of the TVET Council Barbados. TVET Council, again, is like the sister organization to us in Grenada. And then from Trinidad, we're going to be having on that panel curriculum coordinator Nisha Supal, Ministry of Education, Trinidad and Tobago. So there we have some great regional minds who will be talking TVET tomorrow morning between 10 and 11 and looking at the trainer's role in transforming our Caribbean youth. Just to say before I go on to other activities that are taking place, we have recently attended the World Skills Barbados about 2 weeks ago. We had a technical team from Grenada going to observe. So that's another, outside of World Youth Skills Day, another activity that is put on internationally to focus on skills. It's actually a competition. So there's an international World Skills International competition where countries, any country from around the world who's a member of World Skills can participate. There are regional bodies that also have their own competition. So we are now since 2018, part of World Skills Americas. So this is from way down Chile all the way up to Canada who can participate in this competition on this side. And we are now a member of that. We have not sent anyone to competition as yet because we have only had one competition so far nationally because the competitors have to come out of the national competitions.
Okay.
So we went now to observe the World Skills Barbados, which is a national competition in Barbados. We also had a team going to Jamaica, for their World Skills Jamaica competition. So the Grenada competition, we've had one in 2019 and we're hoping to have another one hopefully next year where we can start training persons to go to these international competitions. So I just wanted to say that as an aside.
All right.
But
so you could briefly tell us the other because we are a bit strapped for time. We are a bit strapped for time.
So some of the other activities on Friday, the UNESCO UNIVOC International Body will be having, and I've posted all of this on the NTA's Facebook page.
Okay.
So persons can just go to Facebook to register. It's a link that they can register to. So there's going to be a panel, another webinar, the title of which is Empowering Youth for a Sustainable Future, Building building skills for tomorrow. And persons can register, youth, trainers, anyone can register for that. It's between 10 to 12:30 on Friday. There's a Promote Our Skills in Action photo competition, and that will be launched from Saturday. And any person, young person, they can submit their photos of themselves in a skill, doing a skill, and that gets to be put on the poster, the international poster. Then there's another competition, webinar a little later on the 17th of July, which is Intergenerational Dialogue on Teachers, Trainers, and Future Proof Skills for Youth. It's being hosted by Sri Lanka, and that is also something persons can register for. So even though we are here, located here, we can participate in all of these international activities.
Okay.
Plus, there's also a youth survey that is on as well that persons can go in and participate in. Right. So those are some of the activities.
All right. Well, certainly going to be an interesting, of course, observation, and certainly hope we hope that it comes out successful. Okay, and Desmond, I want to thank you both for being with us this morning. We're a bit strapped for time. I do have another guest waiting that will take care of that. I want to thank you for coming and sharing information, and thanks once again.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you both. Hey, folks, that's how we wrap up this segment of the Mid-Morning Buzz. Have yourself a great day. We should be back shortly. Stay with us here on Classic Radio and GBN TV.
Maggie King of the Grill 2023 is made possible by Quartz, Grenada Limited, Rubis, the National Lotteries Authority, Coca-Cola, Koyaba Beach Resort, and Duty Free Caribbean Holding.
Spice Up returns to the Esplanade Mall Courtyard. Spice Up the Esplanade. Every Wednesday and Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Spice Up the Esplanade. Your all-in-one Spice Mass event. Get a taste of everything Carnival. From music to mass to food to fashion. All things Carnival in one place. Esplanade Mall, July 7th to August 11th. Don't you miss it.
Whoa, whoa. Rock the box, we say, yeah. GBN, we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box, we say. We'll be jamming here on a Thursday. It's a
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Hey, welcome, folks. So, listeners and viewers, it's the Mid-Morning Buzz here on Classic Radio, GBN TV. Of course, let's head on down to the Wyman House this morning. Good morning, Miss Duncan, and how are you this morning? Missed you last week. We understand, not actually missed you. You were actually here last week, but we run into a little bit of technical difficulties that we had to shorten the whole conversation. So, good morning to you once again, and welcome. And tell us what's going on down at the Wyman's house today.
Okay, first I'd like to say good morning to everyone who is tuned in. And I just want to say a special good morning to the friendly staff at the Wyman's house. And what I want to say, it's we are in the carnival season. And, every time around, we always have something for customers, right? And for people who have like stalls and stuff like that, to go on the road to sell and stuff like that, we have things that we have the temporary board, right? So it's we're eliminating the hustle and the bustle. So we have a temporary connection set up for individuals. If they're interested, you can come right here at the Wyman's house and purchase it. It's quite affordable.
Okay. Now, you said lots of stuff available for the carnival season. So tell us about these products that's available.
Right. So what I was talking about is a temporary board.
Temporary board.
For the temporary boards, right? We have that available here at the Wyman's house. If you're having any events, right, and you want a temporary board, you can come right here at the Wyman's house. We have it set up right here for you just to purchase and go. So it consists of your panel, the cables, and I just don't want to say too much right now, because when you come to purchase it, we have something to go along with it.
All right.
As well.
I was actually missing what you were saying, but I don't sort of got the drift when you say that temporary board, which I'm now understanding in terms of what you're saying, and I do understand that now when you say temporary. So folks can head on down to the Wyman's house. You're going to have that event for the carnival season, as Ms. Duncan was mentioned. You can go to the Wyman's house. They have that temporary board that consists of everything that you're going to be needing to set up whatever you set up for that particular event, and you just want them to come on down and have a view for it for yourself. The key part of it in terms of this conversation this morning, you have to come on down at the Wyman's house and see for yourself. Am I right about that?
Yes, GT. And it's normally like when the construction sites normally have it, it's to set up. It's easy to do your connection, your lighting connection. If you're building, but what I'm trying to say
and
is
that's basically more electrical, you're saying, and if I'm getting the drift where you're going.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And Silani have a little insight on it also. So, Silani will just join us and say a few things on the temporary connection.
All right, Silani, let me hear what you're going to be, of course, letting the listeners and viewers know this morning. Tell us about it.
All right, so guys, so basically the temporary connection, if you're looking for information of how that you can get a temporary connection for the carnival, hopefully in the next program, we will get that information, right? So basically, what I could say, the temporary connection is built, right? We build it, yeah. So it comes like different components, right? So you have your meter base, you have your panels, you have your switch, you have your cables, you have your outlets, right? So basically it's put together, as I said, we build it, yeah, suitable, right, for the temporary connection, right? So guys, so as Ms. Duncan say, if you're looking for your temporary connection, yeah, the Wyman's have it available. And trust me, for this carnival season, guys, you're looking for all your different connection, right? For your generators as well. You're looking for your generators plug, right? The outlets, we have this right here at the Wyman's house, right? So guys, don't wait until carnival up and swinging, and it's still wondering where I'm getting certain items, where I get this for my generator, where I get this sort of breakers and stuff to make sure I have good power, yeah, for my carnival season, for my booths, for my stores available. So guys, the Wireman's House, we are right here to serve you. Come discover this difference for carnival right here.
Right. And you're saying the temporary board and everything there's a company saves you the hassle of going around and searching for all the components that you're going to be needing for that setup. It saves you. So you just come, you get on down to the Wireman's House. Everything you need for that temporary setup is on that particular board.
Correct.
Okay, great.
And just a gentle reminder, GT, we cannot get too involved in the carnival. We are also in the hurricane season. For I would have mentioned on a previous program, if you're looking for your flashlights, your batteries, your surge protectors, your jump start power bank, also generator, if you're looking for a smoke alarm, and also fire extinguishers, you can come right here at the Wireman's House. And many more stuff we have, your meter sensors, your panels, cables, conduits. If you're also looking for your AC units, and we have small appliances right here at the Wireman's House.
All right, great. And as you mentioned, the hurricane season, you can never be too prepared. So to get all that you need for the hurricane season, make sure you head on down to the Wireman's House. Anything else we want to mention before we take a wrap today?
Right. For those of you who are trying to locate us, we are located in Woodland, St. George's. And of course, you can contact us on 449-557 or 443-5577. You can also email us at thewireman'shouse@gmail.com. And of course, Selandi, our social media platform up and running. You can go on Instagram and Facebook. And also, we do free deliveries at the Wireman's right here. So just come to the Wireman's House, discover a difference, come and get your temporary board. And as Selandi mentioned, we will have more information for next week in regards to the temporary.
All right. I want to thank you both for sharing the information that you did share this morning. Certainly fruitful information. And I know the listeners and viewers, of course, learned a whole lot. And they will be heading down to the Wireman's House. Thank you both once again. And all the best for the rest of the day.
Thank you, Gutu. Thanks for having us.
All right. Hey, folks, that's how we take a wrap for this segment of the Mid-Morning Buzz here on Classic Radio and the GBN TV. Join us again for another edition. All the best, folks. Have a good one. Goodbye.